Hi, Brian McAboy here with Inside Out Trading. Today we're going to talk about self-sabotage in trading and three specific aspects of it that you need to consider because it can be coming from one of three different primary sources. And we're also going to talk about what you can do to stop sabotaging your trading and doing the things that hurt your bottom line. And what we're talking about with self-sabotage is when you're doing something that you know you shouldn't do, or you're failing to do something you know you should do, and you're consciously aware of it and you're doing it anyway. That's self-sabotage. It's where your subconscious is taking over and making you do things that are not in alignment with your conscious goals or your consciously desired outcomes. That's self-sabotage. It's not mistakes. It's when you're sabotaging yourself. It's like there's part of you that's actually thwarting your efforts and undermining your success. That's what we're talking about with self-sabotage. And like I said, so we're going to talk about three primary aspects of self-sabotage. Now, one of them, and the most commonly purported sources of self-sabotage, and I say purported because I honestly think it's incorrect, and for the most part, and leading people in the wrong directions to find the solution. That's why the problem persists for so long, because they're not finding the proper root cause. They're finding an apparent root cause. Now, most of the time when traders come to me for help, and I've been doing this for 19 years, so I've seen this a lot, and it's a common thing. And I was there once myself, where you're sitting there saying, man, this is so frustrating. I've got a decent strategy. I know it's a good strategy. I believe that it is sound, but man, I just can't seem to do what I know I'm supposed to do. I keep doing stupid things. I know I'm doing it, but I just can't seem to control myself. So what I need to fix is me. And that's the big sign of self-sabotage, is it's like, God, I just can't seem to control myself. There's something that I'm doing and it's subconsciously driven. Okay. So it's a logical thing, or a logical thought process, to say that there's really only a couple things to trading. It's the strategy and am I executing it? And if I'm failing to execute it, I must be the problem. So what I need to fix is me. And again, that's a logical conclusion, at least from that limited perspective. And so where a lot of traders go is they'll say, okay, what could be wrong with me? Maybe I have lack of discipline, or it's emotional control is the problem, or maybe something traumatic happened to me in my childhood that screwed me up for trading, or maybe it's all the beliefs that I had pounded into me, like from church, that money is the root of all evil, and it's these things that are keeping me from being successful. And again, these are logical, reasonable thoughts. But as far as I'm concerned, if you're in a position to trade, and most traders are above average in a lot of regards, usually above average intelligence, above average success. Otherwise, you wouldn't be in a position to trade and you wouldn't even be considering it. So as far as I'm concerned, is there something wrong with you? Do you have some subconscious personal issue about your beliefs about money, or your relationship with money, or your fear of success, or inability to stay disciplined and that kind of stuff? I say no. You've sufficiently overcome those issues to achieve the success that you already have. So you've already demonstrated that you're sufficiently okay with all those matters. Just the fact that you're successful enough to be in a position to trade. So that's not the problem. And that's why I say it's not really great to pursue the solution there, because that's not where the problem is. What you're going to find, and what I've found in working with hundreds of traders over the years, you're going to have two other primary sources of self-sabotage, and they come from the same, like, underlying root cause. Probably the biggest one, and this was what I found in my own experience early on, and I've seen it with almost everybody that comes to me, is the fact that most of us start trading with real money before we're really truly ready to be trading with real money. We just have not been sufficiently prepared for it. We learn enough to be able to trade. We learn what trading's about. We learn a strategy. We learn how to work the platform. We learn how to place trades. We learn how to look at the charts and collect information and all that kind of stuff. So we're able to trade, and that's where most of us, our training ends, is we learn enough to be able to trade. But the thing is, this is a skill-based profession, and this is professional speculation. This is not poker night with your buddies. This is a professional level occupation. And if your training was incomplete, you learned enough to be dangerous, you learned enough to be able to trade, but not to be really good at it, where you know you're good, you're solid. You're just out there hoping that it's going to work and fingers crossed and hope the market doesn't crush me this time. That kind of trading, that's the level where you're really going to just struggle and it's always going to suck. Now, because trading, there's a certain level of skill required to be good at this. The super obvious trades, of course, those are easy. It's the 80% of the trades where it's not obvious that you need the skill. And so if your skill level is down here because you learned enough to be able to trade and you maybe learned a strategy or two, but you didn't learn enough to get really good at them, as in good, not you just understand them thoroughly, but getting good at the execution of them in all kinds of circumstances. As long as you're down here, it's going to be rough and you're not likely to make money. And here's the thing, your subconscious knows this. And so when you do have those periods of success where you're making money, your subconscious is sitting there saying, yeah, but you're not really at that level you need to be yet. And so you haven't earned that success. And so at a subconscious level, you know you're not there yet. Now, the other side, so that's a huge one. That really is. I've seen it play out in myself. I've seen it play out in hundreds of other people inside of trading and outside of trading, where we enjoyed some success and it was largely luck. It was just because the stars were aligning, things just happened to be going real well, but we really didn't do it in a knowing, competent, proficient fashion where it came from a place of, yeah, I'm just plain good at this and I know I'm good at it and I know why I'm good at it. One of my son's t-ball coaches called it being stud. It's like when you're good and you know you're good and you know why you're good. Most traders they just don't get to that level because they're not given the proper training to get good enough to say, yeah, man, I've got a solid handle on it. Bring it, markets. I'm good. I know how to handle it. Most of us are like, when I got the perfect setup, sure. But the rest of the time, it's like, oh, crap, maybe not. And we're sitting again, fingers crossed and feeling subject to whatever the markets decide. That's one of the big signs. Okay. So the other thing is, and again, okay, so that's the one side of it is your subconscious just saying, yeah, you haven't earned it yet. And the other side of it is the period, and usually it's like the first year of trading where, yeah, we're jumping into this. We're not really well prepared for it. We're jumping into it. We're trying to learn. We're trying to trade. We're doing all kinds of things we're not supposed to do. There's a whole lot of things we don't know how to do yet. We're just figuring it out. And so and for like me, my first year, yeah, I was flying by the seat of my pants. I was trying to train myself and I didn't know what the hell I was doing. So I'm trying to figure it out. Don't get me wrong. I'm good at figuring things out, but trading is not that easy to figure out. So anyway, my first year of trading, I'm practicing all kinds of bad trading, emotional trading, angry trading, revenge trading, chasing stuff, hesitating. I'm practicing all the bad stuff. So that's getting wired into me, as well as all the perspectives and associations and emotional response patterns. All that stuff was getting wired into me during my first year. And it happens again for so many other traders. You may know what I'm talking about, where it's like, yeah, man, you had such a long spell and it's, man, things just weren't going well, but you got used to it. And it's like, after a while, this is what feels normal. And so when you have those periods where, no, you're seeing some unusual success, your subconscious says, hey, no, that's not how trading is for you. We're going to bring you back down here. And so the way to overcome all of that, the bad experience, the incomplete training where, yeah, you're actually getting good at this and you have a solid handle on it and your subconscious also now knows that you've earned it. So what do? There's two ways you can get there. For most traders, and if you read this in the books, they'll confirm, yeah, it takes 5 to 20 years of just plain beating your head on the rock and taking your beatings until you finally have been beaten enough that the beatings don't hurt you anymore and you can now your emotions aren't there because you've been pounded on enough. And over time, you've just slowly figured it out, a little piece at a time. Or what I got lucky with, and it was luck on my part, that I had the background that I did in quality assurance, where in quality assurance in manufacturing, my job was to train other people to be good and perform consistently at whatever it is they were doing. That was my job as a quality manager. And so when I applied that to my trading, it worked really well. And I was able to settle down and really get a solid handle on it. And it's real simple, but quality, it's all about in the business world. I'm a quality engineer. And in the business world, it was my job to make sure that we got consistent performance out of everybody in the plant, all kinds of different jobs, 7 different departments, 4 different shifts, day in and day out. It was my job to make sure we're getting good performance out of everybody, good, consistent performance according to best practices. And so it was my job to figure out, okay, what's the best way to do things, how to document it, how to train people on it. And so that, yeah, everybody's doing their job, doing it the right way, and they're doing it the right way consistently and easily over a variety of things. And like I said, when I applied that to my trading, it really worked super well. I was able to settle down. I got a handle on it. It's wow, yeah, okay, now I actually know what I'm doing. And I was able to go into the markets in a knowing manner and trade comfortably in an emotionally calm state, knowing what I was doing and knowing what to expect from my trading and being able to execute consistently and properly. And it was awesome. And so that's what I do now. That's what I've been doing for almost 20 years. And so if you'd like to find out more about that, swing by insideouttrading.com and we can talk about it. I'll share some more about it and how I can help you if this is an area that you're struggling with your trading as far as consistent execution, not making mistakes, self-sabotage. This solves that. So swing by insideouttrading.com. If you're serious about your trading and you really want to make it work, then take the time. It's important. If you're the kind of person that you generally are successful in whatever you pursue, yeah, then this is what you want to do because this is how you get successful without having to take 5 to 20 years. Seriously, like 60 to 90 days. Pretty cool. Anyway, I hope this has been helpful. If it has, give me a subscribe and subscribe down below. Give me a share this with your friends. And again, I hope it's been helpful. Swing by insideouttrading.com. Talk to you soon. Cheers.